Well, at 10 to 2 on, what day's today? Saturday morning, Starbucks, not open. Used to be, long before the pandemic, the Starbucks by our house was open. I'm pretty sure 24 hours. I think way before the pandemic. Now, Tim Hortons is open. I wouldn't say this was the freshest muffin I ever had. Nevertheless, it's a muffin. No, not baked within the last 12 hours, for sure. But beggars can't be choosers, as they say. And it's not even 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, you may ask yourself, what are you doing up at 2 o'clock in the morning? Well, I'm on my way to Buffalo. I opted not to drive this week. It just made more sense, and it was easier. The first part of the trip was the toughest one. Getting to Miami Valley for 12 a.m. post, so last trip at 11 a.m. It was just tough. It's a tough drive to be making in the morning. And then on to Oak Grove. Now the flight from the first leg of the flight really isn't the expensive part. The expensive part is, at the time, it was Dayton or Cincinnati or Columbus to Nashville. The kicker is getting back. There wasn't a lot of flights on Monday morning through Monday afternoon. There was a bunch of connectors, and then you just get back into Cincinnati and drive 7 hours to 6 and a half hours to Ontario. It made very little sense. So I just flew Buffalo to Cincinnati. It was cool that I could make they called it a multi-city flight. So I go Buffalo to Cincinnati. I didn't get any takers for that drive at 9:42 in the morning from Cincinnati up to Miami Valley. About 40 minutes on maps, it says. So I'll get an Uber and then get a ride back. Now it allows me to lay over for quite a while, it looks like, but I only have a 3-hour layover, 5-hour layover. So get off in Cincinnati, get to Miami Valley, drive swinging Senorita, get back, no rush, get back in the car. 3 o'clock flight gets me into Nashville at 6:25 with a connector. And then I actually rented a car. Oh my God. For those of you who say to yourself, you know where I gotta go? Nashville? Nice town. I've only seen it very, just a few times. Expensive. Oh my God. Now it's Saturday night in Nashville, but the hotels I saw were like $400 and $500 a night. The hotel at Oak Grove, Horseman's rate, $109. It's pretty hard to beat that. So I could still rent a car, drive to Oak Grove, and they're nice hotels. Or it's a nice hotel at the casino. Drive to Oak Grove, and it was still a full night cheaper than sleeping in Nashville 2 nights. So whatever. I'm going to drive to Oak Grove with a rental car. Race Sunday. Stay overnight. Very similar to this, because it's an hour to Nashville. My flight's at 5 a.m. Do the math. So I have to get up early Monday, get to Nashville, and get a flight to Buffalo. And I'll be home Monday afternoon. Tuesday, we're going to train the babies here in Ontario. And Tuesday at night, I'm going to drive What a Mission. My wife said, why do you want to go back to Ohio early to drive What a Mission at 6 or 7 to 1? Because I like him, and I want to see the horse start to get ahead. And quite frankly, the easy answer to that, to anybody that isn't my wife, would be it's my job. So Tuesday I'll be there to drive What a Mission. Wednesday, train the babies in Ohio. Wednesday night, race our horses in Ohio. I see Coupe de Ville and Smoking Hot Irish Girl both got in the final, it looks like, or the consolation to the Iron Maiden. It goes for $20,000. certainly no walkover, cakewalk there, but they both raced great their last start. So I think same thing applies anytime this comes up. Who should I drive? Who's the most needed of me? Smoking on Irish Girl did her work well the other day. I think she's hung up well. Again, she's no robot. You can't just pitch the lines at her, but she's pretty safe. Where Coop, a little trickier. So I'm actually going to go with Coupe de Ville on Wednesday, and then we get Dustin and Stonebridge Hecate, both coming off the virus, but a little under the weather, nothing major. Now that was 5 minutes and 40 seconds talking to you about what went on, where I'm at, what we're doing. Let's talk about last night. A great night last night. A win, 2 seconds, and a fourth. I kind of felt bad when I woke up. I slept for an hour and a half. When I woke up, I hadn't sent Stacy a message just to say congratulations. World for Two. He didn't look his best, but he got the job done. And this is exactly why, you come off 2 bad chart lines. Take advantage of it. Put the horse in where he can win. Let people think about it. If you want him off a really bad line and off 2 really bad lines, then fill your boots. And a scratch in a bad line, actually. So they did the right thing, jammed him in, got the job done. He didn't look flashy, but again, off 2 weeks, coming off a couple of bad lines, not really in his top form, but he raced good to get the job done, and I was very happy for them and happy for all my partners with World for Two. Just before that, a little while before that, Austral Hanover raced, and I had a couple of people, I had to digest it myself. I thought the same thing as you. Coming out of the last turn, he was an easy winner. Those are aged horses also. 55-1 last quarter in 28 seconds. 28-1, I believe, or 28-2. 28-2. Still the best mile of his life to date. And although he didn't finish off his work and get up and win, those are aged horses, right? And I think the one that won the race might have been a 3-year-old, I'm not sure. But for the most part, those were aged horses, and he's getting better. His first start at Northfield, thought he was good, but not awesome. Second start, Mike Wilder drove him again. Closed up okay. I thought he was okay, but still looked like he had some work to do. Yesterday, he looked even better. So 3 progressively better starts. I think by the time we get to that stake race on June 3rd, he'll be fine. Now, a great question came in from Johnny yesterday, and he said, hey, he's racing at these age horses, 55. Are you sure he's not, maybe we just go to the PA All-Stars with him? Well, listen. We have Crantini, Spitfire overseas, and Carter Michael Dio heading to the All-Stars. I don't think Tailgate Buzz or as much as I love Austral Hanover, neither of those horses want any part of our 3. And we have to still, it's not like they're just going to hand us money when we walk in with them either. There's other good horses in Pennsylvania. So, although racing against age horses, again, is not easy, the class he's in, knowing that he stays there, and then I believe the first stake race for him is at the Meadows, if I'm not mistaken. And even if it isn't, stay the course. Stay the course with him. Those fields are short. He's got 3 great trips. It just hasn't worked out, and he's getting closer, and he will get them over the next couple of weeks. So I think that's my takeaway from Austral Hanover. I was pleased with him. I feel that he's made gains in all 3 of his starts as a sophomore. He's made money in all 3 starts as a sophomore, and I think he's coming on, and I think you're going to see his best work is still to come. Listen, I like you. I want to see them come out of the gate charging, right? First start as a sophomore in the winner's circle, ears up, sharp as a tack. For a horse that made $65,000 last year and had 5 wins, that's not an easy thing to do. That's a lot to ask. So he's doing the best he can. So we had Austral Hanover World for Two, and then man, oh man, JK. I'm trying to think who the other horse was. JK Victory was the last one. I thought he raced rather well. Now, bounced out of there, did his work well, and was close. 49-3, I think. And I don't have it on my iPad. I'm sure I don't. 49-3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, last night. 49-3 last night, off of first quarter and 26-4. Was he fluid? He wasn't fluid. He raced well to get out of there and get his work done. It's bugging me now. Why can't I just think of this fourth horse? We had Austral Hanover at the Meadows. And then we had World for Two was most definitely... my God, what's wrong with me? Tactical Mounds. So I'll continue on I continue on with JK Victory. So Made Front got everything his own way. One of our clients said, I wish, maybe you just got cheaper fractions. It doesn't always work to your benefit, right? On paper, I think he was the fastest horse. I think Trace did the right thing. Smart guy. Did the right thing in putting in a position where he could be a little bit of a bully, right? 26-4, 54-4, I think 55, something like that, 122 in a piece. They went 49-2. He just got picked off, paced 49-3, and maybe 49-4. But clearly an improvement from where he's been. And looked like there was room for growth with him also. As I said, was he the most fluid? No. Down the lane, he looked like he was still a little bumpy. Left front, got some work to do, but definitely going in the right direction. So thanks, Duran, for taking care of the horse and his staff. It just doesn't work out sometimes, right? We've seen this before. I said it before, and I appreciate the patience from our clients. But Patrick De Piranha went through a very similar thing where just the program that we had here, and in that case it was Dominic, and in this case it was Harry. No one's perfect, and no one on earth, I've said it a million times, no one on earth has ever in the history of anything in this game ever got along with every horse. It's impossible. It's never happened. And this is just one of those cases. So Ron Burke did the best work with him last year, so it made the most sense. And remember, I did try to send the horse to Ron Burke earlier on. He just couldn't take him at the Meadowlands. But as Hoosier Park opened up, he did have room for him, and we moved the horse over. So happy that it's starting to move in the right direction for him, and that we found an avenue that looks interesting and looks like it'll play to our interests. So and the fourth horse, I'm embarrassed, maybe the best race of a 3-year-old we've had so far this year. We had a great race from Carter Michael Dio, some great qualifiers, but I think the best race this year, Tactical Mounds. Now, it's funny, Scott Zeron, pretty laid-back guy, and he'd been around world-class horses, already driven world champions, and just a smart guy. Now, I have a pretty good relationship with Megan and Scotty. Before Megan, I knew Scotty very, very well when he was a kid. I remember him growing up, and just... It was so funny. I guess everybody does. Everybody does. When as you get older, you forget that you're getting older, and you feel like you're still one of the kids. And it's become evident to me I'm not one of the kids anymore. And to see Scott Zeron come from a kid to what he is now is impressive. And he's a good guy. If you know Scotty, he's one of the more unique people in horse racing. The way that he goes about life in general and driving horses, just such a methodical, calm presence. It's very, very rare and very weird. And I tell him all the time, I only know one other person on planet Earth like him. It's not me. I can tell you that. And I'll tell you, it is Ronnie Wren. Just the way they approach horse racing. When you get in this game, it's usually in your blood. And for Ronnie and Scotty, second, third generation, second for sure, maybe third. In Ronnie's case, I believe for sure. And when you get in this game, you want to win everything. You want to write the rule, the record books. You want to be the next, whoever it might be, John Campbell, Bill O'Donnell, Stanley Dancer, whoever. You want to be that guy, and you're driven. To them, it's a job. And it's a cool way to look at it. I'm far removed from being John Campbell or Bill O'Donnell. That ship has sailed. But I love the fact that I can grow up like last night. If we had horses at Mohawk, I could have stayed home. I played catch with Ollie last night at the ballpark for a couple hours and went over and played with the kids and got to live my life. And This game doesn't offer that to too many people. And to have the job that I have is, I do feel special because I see other people that maybe work less but don't get as much out of life. And you might say to yourself, Anthony, I could never get up at 1:40 or 1:30 in the morning, drive to Buffalo, do this, do that. I don't mind it because I know that I'm doing a job that I love. I'll be home Monday. It's not the end of the world. But along the way, don't forget, I get to fly to Cincinnati, go drive in a steak race, in a sire steak race with a filly that's probably second best, but who knows? Then I get to fly to Nashville, one of the coolest cities around. And although I'm not staying in Nashville, I'm going to be in Nashville. I'm going to go to Oak Grove, new facility in our industry not many people have been to. Race some horses that all of them have a shot. And I'll give everybody a little tip. And I don't often do this. I think they have Horn Player at like 6-1 on Sunday. She gets off on the right foot. And the work we did on her helps. And the shoeing changes we made help. She ain't 6-1, I can tell you that. And then I get to fly back home, and I'll be home before the kids are off the bus on Monday. How do you beat that? Anyway, Scotty and Ronnie, the only two people I know like that, just the way that they approach it as a job, not a life. The way that they, that if horse racing ceased tomorrow, they would just do something else where everybody else would just slip into depression. And I just don't, you don't see that approach to racing or approach to life like that very much. And I don't speak to Ronnie as much. We're friends, I think, but we're not. We don't talk on the phone late at night or text each other. And Scotty called me after the race. Tactical Mountains race is over. He was in the next race, so when the next race was over, I'm at the park with the kids, pitching with, working with Ollie and his pitching. Phone rings. Scott Zero. He's at the Meadowlands. He said, we're talking about the filly. She lost a shoe leaving. He said she must just grab the corner of that flip-flop, lost it leaving. He said, I saw it come off. He said, what are you going to do? He said, man, she was hot last night. Now, new track, and I know, so this is, I know I ramble sometimes, but we raced Brace for Landing the other night, and the snake cord. So everybody, gentleman asked me, Ray asked me yesterday, Anthony, what's the difference between a lip cord and a snake cord? That's a great question, because they are not the same. I don't like lip cords. So you have the bit, right? Here's the bit in their mouth, and then you have the rings on the outside that sit outside their mouth. Now, a lip cord goes, you attach the line to a little ring on a strap. That strap goes across their gums and hooks onto here. Just leverage. I don't like it. I feel it's a little archaic, and I don't really like it because, as you can imagine, it gets to a point where they just get angry. It's less control. There's a window of control there, and I generally don't. I don't think I've raced a horse in a lip cord maybe 3 times in my entire life. In however many thousand drives I've had, 30, 25, maybe 3 times in my life, horse worn a lip cord. And they're usually mongrels for the most part, pulling, running away, ignorant horses, lip cord or whatever. They were just bad to drive. Now, snake cord, I use a lot of them, and I know a lot of trainers would rather go to a mini bit or anything. Well, I'll put it to you this way. We have 120 horses, 100 and some horses. 50 of them will wear a snake cord at any given time. Maybe 40 or 50 of them. And I just don't like, as a driver, and this is the transition that I've made in my life also. James hates wearing snake cords on them because any good driver wants to have them on the iron, on the bit, ready to go. But you can get in trouble with some horses that shut their air off. Red Overbach is one. How the Hell is another. haunted house. I told you it'd shut his air off the week before. Sometimes when you really have to fight with them, they just tuck their head a little bit and they can choke themselves. And I just feel there's a lot more, and especially with the babies, there's no need to have the babies on their toes or hot. And that's where the bulk of our snake cords are worn. Just put a snake cord on them and get them under control and let them learn to trot properly. So we do wear a lot of snake cords, and I know that is rare. There's not a lot of horsemen out there that use a ton of them. There's usually 3 different sizes: 15-inch centimeters, inches. No, it'd be inches. 15-inch snake cord, 16 or 17. You'll have half inches sometimes, but those are the 3. So we go to Race Brace for Landing the other night, and so as you can imagine, you have the line attached to the ring, then you attach the ring, the line, and both of those to the bit. So all the line is attached to both the ring of the snake cord and the bit. You go around the mouth, around the jaw, over the tongue, and back to the other side of the ring. Now the whole point of this is just to put tension on their jaw if they fight with you. Now you can use the rubber ones. They're pretty useless. Really good chew toys for dogs. Or you can use the ones that are made out of that yellow cord. I don't want to say clothesline cord. Anyway, that yellow material. And then the other ones are just a wire covered in rubber or plastic, wire snake cord. Those are my preferred snake cords. 16-inch wire snake cord. So I go to warm up Brace for Landing, and the snake cord, if you put the rings on the bit, and then so the whole point of this is that when you pull on the horse, before you get to the back of the bit with the line, you will tighten that snake cord up. It will tighten up. So it's just added pressure on the jaw. Well, the snake cord was too long for Brace for Landing. I could get to the back of the bit with both lines, which meant there's no tension on the jaw. It's really just an ornament. It's nothing. It does nothing. So I took it off and put a smaller one on him. He was much more controllable. Scotty called me last night and said, "Tactical mounts? Oh my." He said, "I don't know how you got her to slow down coming out of the gate. She wasn't a runaway, but she was hot." He said, "I got her beat. It's my fault. I just assessing the situation coming out of the last turn, thought she was gone. And instead I just let her idle, and as we got closer to the wire, she just come off the gas a little bit, and then Brian Sears jumped on me. It was too late." He said, "I tried to pick at her and she got out of gear because she didn't have that shoe on. It was my fault." He said, "If I had just stayed on the gas a little bit, she probably wins in 52-4 by a length and a quarter, but because I come off the gas and let her coast, I got her beat." I said, "That's not the end of the world." I mean, but he said, "This is a very good horse." I said, "I told you that when I sent you." In fact, when I sent you the filly, what did I tell you? She can trot 53 right now. Now, I didn't expect that to be a hold my beer moment where you go and, win in 53 with her, but that's what I felt. She was ready to trot at the Meadowlands, and that's what she did. And he goes, "She can go more than that." So Scott Zeron was really, really impressed with Tactical Mounts. Brett and Stacy, although it wasn't the most impressive mile from World War II, he got the job done, and that is very, very important. So Stacy and Brett continue to have luck. Yo Mister, they'll get him sorted out. Somebody said, "Well, what are we going to do with Yo Mister?" I don't know. Watch him race. I mean, he had 2 bad races. He had 4 real good ones before that. Just calm down. We'll see what happens next week with Yo Mister. But Brett and Stacy have been great with us throughout. They took care of Patrick DePrano. He raced great for them. Don't forget, they have one of the best horses we've ever had as an entire stable in our life with Kings County. So, great job again done by Stacy and Brett. And then it's worth mentioning, and Amy was right. She said, Dominic's one of my best friends, and I don't mention him enough. The job he's done with Spitfire Overseas and Carter Michael Dio, and even though we're not talking about the same caliber of horse, my 1%, to have the fortitude to say, okay, can we just rest him, start him back, okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's stay close to take care of that horse's eye and get him fired up and ready to go again. Just a great job by everybody across the board. People will say, I don't know how you do it. It's because it's not me. Everybody loves their job. Everybody tries hard. Everybody works. Harry, Jason, Dominic, Mario, our affiliate trainers with Stacy and Tim Twaddle and Megan. My brother Mark has the trotter HL Blue. He's getting close, he told me. Everybody loves their job and takes their job so seriously. It isn't me. Well, how do I do it? It's not me. I'm the conductor of a giant orchestra. It's not easy. But having people that play the instruments real well makes my job that much easier. So as I drive to Buffalo, middle of the night, I'm perfectly wide awake, even at an hour and a half sleep. I'll feel great today. Hopefully, swinging Senorita race as well. Get down to Nashville, get to watch the horses race tonight. And excited. You know why I can get up at 1:30 in the morning and 1:40 in the morning and drive to Buffalo wide awake on an hour and a half sleep? Because I'm excited. I'm excited for the summer for us and what's ahead for the stable.ca. Watching Spitfire qualify yesterday. Even a horse like Merchant Man, happy that he made it to the races. Looks good. He's certainly no Spitfire overseas, but looks okay. Seeing How the Hell make it back. School in 2 minutes, formulate a plan. What are we doing with him next? And by the way, we're going to school him again. We're going to take the hobbles off of him, take a bunch of gear off of him, and school him next week. My 1% is going to qualify. These aren't great horses, but they're all in the same category. The last two anyway. Where are they at? What are they doing? They're there. They're ready to go. And that means a lot to the people that own those horses. And then I look to the 2-year-olds. Man, so excited about the open house in Ohio. And by the way, don't forget, I'll keep plugging it as we go through the weeks, but don't forget to RSVP. Come out to Northfield. It is a nice facility to watch the horses train. It is a nice place. 15 minutes in any direction from Northfield Park will get you great eating, great shopping, and a really nice hotel. Affordable, too, unlike Nashville. And just really excited to go with the babies, both here and in Ohio. So, with that, a little long video to start off the day, but not the end of the world. I know. It's not Star Wars, but it's okay. So with that, I'll let you guys go. Have a great day. Wake up. Hopefully it looks like it's going to be sunny everywhere. Wake up. Enjoy the day. Hopefully we have some luck and I can talk to you later on about how some of the horses raced. So with that, I'll let you go. Take care.